Hello, everybody. My name is Darren Hartman. I'm with VoIP Supply, and I'm also here with Jessica Kelley from Jabra.
Hello,
And
everyone.
we're gonna talk about hybrid ways of working today with Jabra. Everybody has, I'm sure, seen with the start of the pandemic in 2020, just the amount of people working from home and the amount of headsets that are needed. It's been quite a crazy time for headsets, and it's been a good time for growth here for everybody. So, all right. So during the webinar, please use the Q&A feature located in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. We'll answer the questions at the end of the presentation. Also, Jessica, we are going to be giving away, or Jessica's going to be giving away a headset. A little
Yes,
giveaway at the
that's
end.
right.
So, yeah. So please stay through the end of it, and we're gonna pick the names at the end. We'll contact you whether you win or not. And just to give you a little background about VoIP Supply, if you're not aware, we have some really nice reseller benefits that we provide. VoIP rental programs. So you can rent your IP phones, adapters, equipment through us, through a leasing program, low monthly payments. Be happy to walk you through that program if you're interested. We also do hardware and hardware provisioning for a lot of the manufacturers, over 60 manufacturers, 16,000 products. We do that every day. Very popular here as well. CloudSpan Marketplace. So a single place to shop for various service providers. You can build up your monthly recurring revenue. Spiffs and discounts will all get passed through you. It's a really good program. We have a couple different options for you to choose from as far as the different customer segments you have. Fulfillment is really part of the provisioning piece of it. So not only can we provision the units for you, we can include inserts for you, stickers on the units, really customize them for you and your customers. And then lastly, our refresh and reclaim. So if you have equipment that you're looking to sell back, VoIP equipment, please send me a note and I'll let you know if we can offer up some money towards those. And we also do sell some of our refresh or reclaim product through VoIP Supply as well. So a lot of the leading manufacturers are sold there. So please let me know if I can help out there. And then now we'll turn it over to Jessica, who will talk about the Jabra.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Darren. And thank you to VoIP Supply for having us on this webinar today. As Darren mentioned, we are going to be talking about the hybrid ways of working. And before we kind of jump into which devices to select for, the utmost professionalism, whether you're working from an office or from a remote location like a home or even a Starbucks, before we jump into those devices, I just want to kind of take a step back and say where everyone was working kind of before the pandemic, right? Essentially, there's been kind of 3 different work modes. The first is the office. So this, of course, has been kind of the predominant place of work for most knowledge workers for many years. The utilization of the office real estate has kind of gone through its own evolution, though. But open spaces and huddle rooms have kind of been a hot topic. I'm sure you guys have all heard those terms. And then we've got the remote worker. So this is predominantly where, those people either working from home, but essentially they could be any place other than a traditional office. Like I mentioned, a Starbucks, wherever they need to work. Some people, maybe it's their car. This was also something we saw a lot of before the pandemic, but it's been especially on the rise with like freelancers and the so-called digital nomads. And then the last one, if you couldn't guess, is hybrid. And this is not surprising. It's a mix between the office and the remote worker, where workers would spend time in both locations and even some places in between. So let's have a look at each of them kind of individually and thoughts on what people think of each of them. So we've known for some time, and it was confirmed by a recent study that we did, but the office is the preferred workplace for basically anything that satisfies our needs as humans to connect and socialize. So tasks that require engagement, and collaboration, whether it's presenting or brainstorming, and of course, all those water cooler chats that you may have with your coworkers and friends. So it really satisfies that hunger for socializing and feeling part of a tribe. But the office isn't always sunshine and rainbows. We have talked about this for years at Jabra, and according to our knowledge worker studies, noise and interruptions, especially when we need to focus during that crunch time, is causing us to lose productivity, according to 81% of the people we asked. So then we have the remote worker. So not surprisingly, but in contradiction to the office, the knowledge workers we spoke to said that the types of tasks that can be best accomplished remote were the tasks that required focus and concentration, things like independent thinking, individual creativity, and learning things. But remote work is great for more than that. It's also a way to better improve our lives overall. According to a study from FlexJobs, 73% reported a better work-life balance during the pandemic. A very obvious benefit that is primarily accredited to the time we have not having to commute to an office. And again, there are some, downfalls to working remotely as well. So Isaac Stern, a legendary violinist and music composer, said that music happens between the notes. Well, connection and trust building in organizations happens between those meetings. When we don't go to an office, we can't build that social capital that allows us to fully connect with our coworkers. And not surprisingly, our data very clearly paints that picture. The lack of connection, staying motivated, and challenges with equipment were top 3 pitfalls from working remote. But it doesn't end there. A very important consideration when talking about remote work is the whole discussion about the so-called second-class corporate citizen. Now, people that are in the office have access to key stakeholders and resources. This is considered by many to be a key advantage when seeking opportunities or career advances. So not surprisingly, 52% of remote workers told us that they were concerned that their career might suffer long-term because they don't have equal access to those opportunities. So that leaves us with the hybrid working term. And yes, as you may have guessed, it is a mix between office and remote. So some days are in the office and others are remote, which in theory gives people the best of both worlds. So let's take a closer look at hybrid working. So when we asked the employees about hybrid working, this is what we learned. 68% tells us that their ideal work week would include a good balance mix of working from home and in the office, and that's a clear preference. But what do these organizations say, right, that these folks work for? The data suggests that they are even more in favor. So 90% of executives envision a hybrid working model going forward, according to a recent study by McKinsey. So there seems to be a conscious decision between employers and employees that hybrid working is in fact the way forward. So even though 90% of organizations seem to be in favor of the hybrid working model, very few seem to have worked out kind of a vision or plan to how they're going to make that work. So according to McKinsey, only a mere 11% have developed a vision, communicated that vision, and started piloting. In the same study, we learned that 68% of organizations have indeed not formalized a plan or vision on how they plan to implement a hybrid working model. And I think that this is clear in what we see today. Some folks have gone to hybrid working and returned to the office, and others are still kind of working that plan out. So then you have the discussion about the spaces within the office. Right now, most office spaces are still set up for that traditional 9 to 5, where we kind of cram everyone into a big open space and expect them to be productive. So knowing where we have been working, this isn't going to work kind of for that new normal. And according to a Steelcase survey, 67% of employees want their organization to restructure those open spaces into areas that foster better collaboration. So it kind of poses the question, are people equipping their employees with the tools and technologies they need to get the work done in a hybrid model? And according to Microsoft Work Trend Index, they could certainly do better. 42% reports that they lack essential office supplies at home to do their job, which aligns well with our finding, where 72% of workers tell us that they are aware of the benefits of using an enterprise or a boom arm headset and would consider using one. But one of the top reasons they don't is because they haven't been provided one by their company. So when we're talking about lacking those supplies, then we kind of like to pass on the word from those workers themselves, because 68% of them would in fact prefer that managers provide them with a professional grade equipment required to meet those corporate standards. And 55% said that the life would be easier in a hybrid future if they were provided a tech bundle that included all the devices that they would need to work from anywhere. And finally, 84% said that they believe that technology can help employees have equal access to opportunities at work. So with everything we kind of just covered about the 3 different working models, it has become evident that the new normal of hybrid work requires kind of 2 fundamental considerations. First is, what cultural considerations do we need to make to be successful with hybrid? And then second, what technologies should we deploy to enable workers to work from anywhere and feel included and equal? So I'm proud to say that from a technology point of view, the whole world can be a potential workplace for with Jabra. And we're going to go into a little bit more about the actual devices here now. So Jabra has a unique portfolio of solutions and a broad portfolio. So the Jabra Evolv franchise that you see there on the screen, this is the market leading portfolio for audio solutions for hybrid working. Different form factors and different feature sets in more than 10 different devices can accommodate for every need and every budget. Unseen levels of passive and active noise cancellation to fight off all those noises. A busy light to show your colleagues and maybe your family at home that now is not a good time to interrupt me. A music quality that we would expect from a traditional consumer device, and a call performance that eliminates the what and can you repeat that, or I didn't hear you on the other end of the calls. Next, we have our Jabra Panicast franchise. So this is intelligent video for any use case. It can be in a fixed all-in-one solution for your meeting rooms. And then it could be for maybe the educator that has to remotely teach her students, or the individual that needs a quality solution for working from home or on the go. So we've got it all for those types of scenarios. And finally, we've got our Jabra Speak products. So our award-winning series of speakerphones that comes in different variants and functionalities, from the entry-level speakerphone to the large executive boardroom and everything in between. So of course, what is true for all of our products is that they've all been tested and certified by partners in the UC space like Microsoft, Zoom, Cisco, and so on. And now, I think it's important, as we talked about kind of what workers would like to see from those new office spaces, I just wanted to provide like an example of this. So this is an overview of how the different spaces we should be able to find an adaptive office in the future. So you'll notice there's hot desking neighborhoods, quiet focus spaces, and one-person virtual breakout rooms for employees to concentrate and collaborate as individuals, and also for teams to collaborate as a group. There are video-equipped meeting rooms of all sizes, and then, of course, a flexible group collaboration that can happen in numerous places. As we look at this, we tried to populate these areas with our technology. So there is a Jabra solution for all of the different spaces. So you'll see the Panicast 20 and the Evolv 285 are for the people that are hot desking. So those people that are coming to the office and just using one of those stations. For those who work, their work requires a significant amount of conversation. It might be something like the Engage 75, which is pictured in the middle there at the top. And it can be any one of our Engage products. I'm actually wearing our Engage 50 right now. I find this best when I'm trying to do these webinars. I like to use it as it gives me really clear audio, and I can be on it for a significant amount of time. And then we've got our Evolv 275 for those quiet places where people need a device that can help them concentrate and collaborate. Our Jabra Panicast and our Speak 710 for more of those portable meeting rooms, and our award-winning Panicast 50 that has the video, the audio, and the intelligence to be the preferred choice for fixed installations in those meeting rooms. The Panicast 20 and the Speak 750 for those personal breakout rooms, so those one-person breakout rooms. These are just examples, of course, of how you can equip a space in this new adaptive office. But the configurations of these devices, of course, can be tailored to fit any need of you or your end customer. We're going to jump into some bundles, as we kind of heard in the knowledge worker surveys, that people would like to be equipped with a bundle that could satisfy all of their tech needs, depending on where they're working from. But before we do that, I do just want to touch upon the Panicast 50, which I mentioned would be used in those kind of fixed installation meeting spaces. So the Panicast 50 is an all-in-one video and audio solution, so it does have the sound bar. It has intelligent zoom, which frames all the people in the room, and it's based on that 180-degree field of view. It has a virtual director mode, which frames those active speakers, and it's based on that 180-degree field of view and 8 beamforming microphones. It does have an always-on people count, which can deliver data even when it's framing those exclusive active speakers. And this intelligence can be used to alert when a room has met its capacity. So if we're, now that people are returning to the office from these pandemic times, it allows for organizations to set room capacity and then alert folks when they've met or exceeded that room capacity. And it can trigger an email to an administrator that can kind of take action on that. The other thing that it can do is also let people know how they've been using their spaces. So maybe there is a conference room that can accommodate 6 people, but they're only really seeing, 2 or 3 people in there at a time. Maybe it's restructuring that conference room to be more of those either just a small collaboration space or maybe a one-person breakout room. And then it has a live whiteboard streaming feature to optimize the collaboration for those far end users. And there's no need for a second content camera. So that is all delivered through the Panicast 50. And we're seeing, that's a very popular feature. I think people used to have to buy a second camera, and that's something that's helped reduce the cost for those folks. They no longer need that additional camera. So now we're kind of going to jump into just some examples. So these are just examples. Again, they can be configured to your specific needs, but these are examples. This one is for kind of a work from home scenario. It does have the Panicast 20, and that is actually what I'm using here today. So you see what that looks like. And so, the workers do believe that working hybrid would be easier if they were given a bundle. So here's kind of like a starter pack. It does include 2 different audio devices and then the personal video conferencing camera in the Panicast 20. It's basically the full package that a remote worker would need. So the Jabra Evolv 265, it's one of our best-selling headsets. It allows for those crystal clear calls and concentration in any environment. You do see the Speak 750. It's a personal and portable speakerphone with professional call quality and awesome music experience. And then finally our Panicast 20, which is really the next generation of personal video conferencing for that seamless connection, even when you are working remotely. The Speak 750, I guess if I'm not using one today because my toddler's running around downstairs. So I do choose to use a headset. I think that's the important piece of kind of providing two audio options. If you are in a more intimate space and you feel comfortable using a speakerphone, there is one there for you. And then if you do need kind of that little bit more concentration, or making sure that that background noise isn't heard, then you can use the headset for that. So options there. Just wanted to kind of talk more about those individual products. So the Evolv 265, taking a closer look at that, it does have the busy light. So as we mentioned, if you're working in the office or at home, it just lets people know that you are busy and maybe not the best time to approach you. And it offers a battery life of 37 hours of nonstop calls and music. So that's quite a bit of time. It does have a charging stand, so you can charge it with the charging stand, or you can plug it in using a USB cord. It is Open Office certified. It has 3 microphone system, 1 in the boom arm and 1 in each ear cup. And with this headset, it's really about comfort and durability. So the headband slider and the slide arm are made of metal, but comfort is definitely something that we looked at when we designed this headset. So we actually did hundreds of head scans to determine the most optimal headband and oval ear cushion shape that would kind of accommodate most people's heads and ears. And the weight of this headset has also been evenly distributed on the right and left side. So that's been a big step up in comfort. This device can be managed from our Jabra Direct software and our Jabra Express software as well. And with that, we're going to just touch upon, like I said, the PanaCast 20, which is also for this kind of work from home bundle. This picture does not do it justice as to how small this camera is. It is very small and compact, and it does come in kind of a travel case. So you can take it with you, whether you are going from your home office to a coffee shop. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you're someone that's getting back on an airplane and traveling and taking it with you on your travels, or you want to bring it to the office and use at one of those hot desking stations. So it is portable, you can bring it with you, and like I said before, use it with a headset or a speakerphone. It does also have that intelligent zoom that we talked about with the PanaCast 50, so it can zoom in on the person. You can get up. If you move around, it'll follow you. It does have only a single lens, whereas the PanaCast 50 has 3 different camera lenses, and it provides a 90-degree field of view versus the 180-degree field of view that the PanaCast 50 has. It does provide intelligent light optimization, so really provides a natural view no matter what the lighting conditions are. So if you're using it and maybe you have different lighting scenarios where either it's a little bit darker, a little bit brighter. In here right now, I do have a ceiling light on, and I also have a window curtain open, but you can still see that it's really optimized my light in the camera. And then it also has a picture-in-picture feature, and this one I think is really cool to point out. Again, it's not using any sort of second content camera or anything like that. You'll see in that picture, it's a little bit small, but you'll see that the picture of the person is kind of moved into the bottom right-hand corner, and then you can see the headset being displayed in the main part of the screen. So this just allows the folks that are listening or seeing a presentation or collaborating to still see the person speaking, but maybe see a headset being displayed, or I've heard this one before, fabric swatches. If maybe folks aren't comfortable going to a fabric store or a furniture store, they can see the fabric swatches through the camera. It also could be used to show a whiteboard or another area of focus within a room. So then, now that we've talked about kind of the work from home scenario, those remote workers, now those folks that are going back to an office or working from an office, they really want something that's more on a concentration pack, because as we mentioned before, although that there are pros to going to the office, there also could be many interruptions. So when they need to kind of focus, we do recommend using the Jabra Evolv 285. So it's our hero product in the Evolv lineup that delivers the professional call quality, but also portable concentration zone with noise cancellation, and also connecting for virtual calls. We again see the Panicast 20 there as well. The Evolv 285 does come with the charging stand. You do see it there in the picture as well. And you can use the charging stand or a USB to charge the headset. Okay, so this, the Evolv 285 is definitely the key concentration enabler, and it's the digital hybrid ANC, which is a full 4-microphone system designed to remove surrounding open office noise. So there are 4 mics that pick up and cancel out noise on the outside of the ear cups, and then additional mics inside the ear cups, which remove the noise that is leaked through. The speakers are 40 millimeter speakers, and they deliver not only rich and clear music sound, but also have been specifically designed to make the ANC system as effective as possible. And then finally, the hallmark of kind of the Evolv 2 line is the 360-degree busy light. So that'll light up again to let folks know that you are busy. It does have the up to 37 hours of battery life, and it can come in USB-A or USB-C. And this is my other favorite. So right now I am wearing the Engage 50 for this webinar, but my go-to since the start of the year has been the Jabra Evolv 275. So it was not pictured in the example for the office, but like I said, you can configure that to meet your needs. So it can be used for the office or remote. It is our newest in the Evolv 2 line of products. And it does have some really amazing features, but I'm just going to kind of touch on a couple here. So we have developed a boom arm that's 33% shorter than our Evolv 75, which is it's still in existence. There's still a need for that as well. But this just has a shorter boom arm, and the headset can actually be used in a performance mode with the microphone boom arm down, or in discrete mode with the microphone disappearing into the headset on the ear cup. So this will be good, I guess, if you're, maybe you're listening to music on the train, or you are commuting through an airport and you don't necessarily need to be speaking. You can use it with the microphone back up into the cup, or you can just be kind of more discreet and just be listening to your tunes as you go about your commute. And speaking of the microphones, the headset actually uses 8 precision place microphones with a triple chipset powered algorithm to filter out that noise around you so that you can have those crystal clear calls. And this is also the first time that we have put our fully adjustable Jabra Advanced Active Noise Cancellation in a professional headset. So it gives you the maximum control over your concentration. So there's 11 settings to choose from, and you'll do that within our Jabra Sound Plus app. And then lastly, so we've touched upon the remote or the work from home, the office, and now we'll just touch upon flexible collaboration. So this is really just kind of, it could be for a team that has to go into an unequipped room, or maybe even travel off-site to another customer event, or maybe, like I said, they're traveling. They can have a meeting room in a box. So this is just an example of that. And what it includes in this picture here is our Jabra Panicast. It's our original. It does have 3 cameras on the camera lenses. It is also really small. You see it in that picture, but it's probably, I would say, smaller than cell phones, maybe just a tad bigger than a credit card. So it is pretty small as well, and can attach to a monitor or a table stand as you see it there in the picture. So it gives you, it's small, it's flexible, it's portable, It does also allow for a whiteboard capture. It is a separate app. It's not embedded like it is in the PanaCast 50, but you do also have that ability as well. You can put it on a table stand, as I mentioned. It could be put on a wall if you did want to put it in kind of a smaller conference room or a flex space. But it is kind of flexible to be portable with you as well. You see, we talked about our Speak 750 earlier, and this one we're just representing our Speak 710. Both the Speak 710 and the Speak 750 can be daisy chained together. So if you did have a space where you needed a little bit more audio, you wanted someone at one end of the table, and then you wanted one at the other end for folks to be able to kind of really be heard, that is available with both the Speak 710 and the Speak 750. And you can connect all of these into the Jabra USB hub and cable. And so you'd have one kind of plug-in connection to your compute unit, whatever that may be, whether it's your laptop or something that's in a room. So really making this easy, flexible, and professional. So just to look at the PanaCast, the original, just to take a closer look, as I mentioned, it does have that 180-degree field of view, similar to the Jabra PanaCast 50. It is also equipped with intelligent zoom. And as you see it in the flexible collaboration, where it's used with the Speak device, or you could also pair this with a headset as well. So before we came out with our PanaCast 20, I was using the original PanaCast in my home office and using it with a headset daily. So it can also be used in that sense as well. If you needed the whiteboard feature, if you wanted to have a 180-degree view of your space, that is an option for you as well. And so we wanted to provide you both our contact information. So Darren's information is there as well as mine. Feel free to reach out to VoIP Supply and Darren should you have any questions. But I don't actually see, I'm going to pause here. And Darren, or do you see any questions? Has anybody posed any questions in the chat for us?
I don't see anything in the Q&A just yet. If you guys are looking for it, it's in the just in the bottom right hand of the screen. You'll see the icon for chat, for Q&A if anybody has any questions. But I haven't seen any just yet.
Okay, well, we could give them another minute. I know we talked about a lot. I guess to recap, you know, we are seeing, you know, folks that are working from home still, that have started to travel again, that are going back to the office. I think the most important keyword here, of course, is hybrid. There are a lot of folks that are looking for that mixed opportunity to be in the office a few days and at home for a few days. And so I think we will continue to see that evolve as more organizations kind of put their plans in place and really kind of come up with that vision, that plan, and they execute it. So if you are looking or have customers that are looking for those types of solutions, please reach out. Like I said, we have a lot of options available and can customize it to your specific needs.
All right, we do have a question on here.
Okay, great.
So the question is, you mentioned you work from home. What is your favorite headset feature?
That's a good question. So I guess it depends on the time of day and what I'm doing. So I would say for important webinars like this, right, where I'm the one presenting, I want to make sure that I am crystal clear. So I like this Engage 50 headset. It'll actually, it's a digital headset. It will tell me on the screen if my microphone is out of place. So if I accidentally move my boom arm and it's not in a good place for me to be heard, it'll actually pop up on the screen and tell me that. So I would say on this headset, that's my favorite. And then I would say the other ones that I really do like is the active noise cancellation. So if I need to concentrate, whether I'm building a presentation or I'm working on spreadsheets, and I want to concentrate and kind of just not hear what's going on around me at home, I'm going to wear that Evolv 285 or the Evolv 275. My go-to recently has been the Evolv 275, and it is for that. I love the active noise cancellation.
Yeah, I actually use the Engage 50 at home for my home office, and in the office. I think my favorite feature, one of my favorite features, is the busy light indicator. So working in a big office setting on the phone, and somebody doesn't know that you're on the phone, you have that indicator light, which I get calls about all the time. It's nice and it's built into the Jabra unit, so I think that's one of my favorites for sure. Being on the phone a ton, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And Darren, I would consider you our hybrid worker, right? So you've got that home office set up, and then you also have a setup in the office. So I
Yep,
think that you are that person we're talking about today.
for sure, for sure. Okay, that looks like I don't see any other questions right now, but if you guys do have more questions about the products, about anything we talked about here, feel free to reach out to me directly. If you're a customer of VoIP Supply or want to be a customer of VoIP Supply, I can help you out there, and then work with Jessica if I need to. We are going to be giving away the Jabra Evolv 275 to somebody, so I will send an email out to the lucky winner there. I think you'll really enjoy it, and I think that's it from my end.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Darren, for having Jabra on again today. And if anybody has any questions, please reach out to Darren, and he knows how to get in touch with me.
Great. Thank you, Jessica. Appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Thank you, everybody.